I'm vengeance.
Yeah, you are, and I am Subhankar, your host, but not vengeance. Hey everyone, welcome to Care Fiction, and join me as I break down the trailer for the new Batman movie. Before we begin, it is too early to speculate or draw out any plot details, as only 25 to 30% of the movie has been in production, which is also mentioned at the end of the trailer. But even then, the trailer blew my mind and made me leave my misgivings behind in anticipation of a different kind of on-screen Batman, portrayed by Robert Pattinson. So without further ado, let's hop in. I love these jittered titles, intercut with a masked killer taping his victim. The victim is Don Mitchell Jr., the mayor. By the way, no such character by that name exists in the comics. But how was he killed? A gunshot? Or maybe something else? As we cannot see much blood from this frame, but I think that the killer must have trashed his face, as can be assumed from this frame later in the trailer. Then taped it so that when someone opens it, it reveals an ugly face, the real side of the mayor. Hence, no more lies. But the biggest question is, who is the killer? I mean, not the true identity, but who is portrayed here. For now, let us assume that this is the Riddler. Does the killer also has tape around his head? And what is that paperback doing in his left hand? Enter Jim Gordon, who is not commissioner yet. I think more like Captain Gordon. A very noir-styled newspaper clippings extolling the achievements of the victim. Then right there, we have someone named Bella Real, played by Jamie Lawson. But who is she exactly? A mayoral candidate? A Halloween card with the signature green color of the Riddler. Some things to note here. Secret friend. Someone who knows Batman or Bruce Wayne closely. Then a skeleton, signifying death. And most importantly, an owl. And Batman fans must have deduced what that owl hints at. The Court of Owls. The Court of Owls is an organized crime group and secret society who have been in existence in Gotham since the 1600s. It is a conspiracy that has controlled Gotham City for centuries. They are a violent cabal of some of Gotham's oldest and wealthiest families who use murder and money to wield political influence throughout history. To carry out their interests, they employ a breed of highly trained assassins known as talons, and of course, they wear owl masks. There has been a conspiracy floating around that this cabal had a hand in the murder of Bruce Wayne's parents. So it could be that they are pulling the strings in the movie and somehow the Wayne family is involved in all this. Or the movie could also go on to explore Bruce Wayne's parents' involvement in the greater scheme. Who knows? Then comes the coolest part of all, a riddle. What does a liar do when he is dead? And going by the lines, I think this is a first murder in a serial killing spree. Then we have those glyphs, which apparently serves to solve this riddle. The riddle has already been solved by the fan community and it says he lies still, which is an obvious pun as the victim there lies still and that he is also a liar. It has been solved by a few fans, but I will show you a detailed solution by Mike Salinker, who shared it on his Twitter page. I will leave the link down below. Now we get a glimpse of the Maroni drug bust paperclip, who is none other than Salvatore Sal Maroni, a mob boss and head of the Maroni crime family, a rival to the Carmine Falcone's crime family. Carmine Falcone is played by John Turturro. The first look of Batman. Hell yeah, he looks awesome. Here we have a press conference being addressed by who seems like the commissioner of GCPD. Then we cut to Bruce sneaking around the press and riding into his lair, the Batcave. If you zoom in, you can also see the name inscribed as Wayne right there. A car breaks into the funeral gathering for the mayor with DOA written on it, dead on arrival, and a captive bomber. Let me point out something here. You can see the number on the car plate, which reads S39. I always love to look into these as sometimes they provide hints or references. S39 could be made into 1939, with S being the 90th letter of the English alphabet. 1939 is also the year when Batman first appeared in the comics. That's fun. Now let's take a dip into some more finer details. The green card from this scene could be alluding to the long Halloween storyline from the comics. The story takes place during Batman's early days of crime fighting, which fits into the timeline of this movie. Matt Reeves has pointed out that the movie takes place in what is known as Batman Year 2, the early days of the Caped Crusader. I wouldn't spoil the long Halloween for you, but it is a very good comic, and you should read it if you haven't yet. To be very basic, It tells the story of a mysterious killer named Holiday who murders people on holidays, one each month. Batman works with District Attorney Harvey Dent and Captain James Gordon. It also involves Gotham's crime families, Maroni and Falcone. Fun fact that this is the origin story of Harvey Dent's transition to Two-Face, as Sal Maroni throws acid on his face. So definitely a story to keep in check before this movie comes out. Noteworthy to point out that Barry Keoghan will play the role of Stanley Merkel, who was Jim Gordon's original GCPD partner when he first started out his career in Gotham City. Next we take a closer look into the murderer. We have assumed that it is Riddler, played by Paul Dano, but there is more to it than meets the eye. Notice that he may have tape around his own head? One such character that it could be hinting at is Hush, who in the comics is actually Thomas Elliot, and he is a childhood friend of Bruce Wayne, also born into a wealthy family, and his comics adventures has largely been influenced by the Riddler. Plus, the general consensus is that the Riddler or someone knows the true identity of Batman in the movie. While in the comics, it was Riddler who deduced his true identity and allies with Hush to take down the Batman with this newfound revelation. Plenty of stuff going on here. But this gritty and dark themed Batman look is inspired by the comic Batman Ego, as stated by the director. It depicts the Batman as he falters in his crime fighting and loses his way temporarily, and ponders deeply and critically about his actions and consequences. This, I believe, is the kind of storytelling and a narrative that the upcoming movie will adapt. So that's about it. There are a good amount of possible references in this trailer, don't you think? And it will be more exciting when the second trailer drops, obviously after production resumes. But I am thrilled for this movie and I would like to hear your thoughts. So pour down your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching this video and see you soon.